hi, everybody, and welcome into another Solid Orange conversation dedicated to Prisma Health and all the brave healthcare professionals out there. Don Munson and our head basketball coach, Brad Brownell, along with you. First and foremost, Brad, good to see you. It is, and I literally mean that. It's good to see you. I wish it was face-to-face, but good to see you. I take it that everybody in the Brownell household is doing well.
Yeah, we are. Thanks, Don. Good to see you as well, and hope everybody out there in Clemson Nation is safe.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Obviously, a little bit different time for all of us. So, I want to kind of use this time just to let's first talk about things as they are right now and how you're going about staying in touch with your student athletes, with the players. You know what information you're trying to get to them. We'll start right there. So, maybe you can take us through what is a typical week for you and the staff right now, and how you're staying in touch with the players.
Well, obviously, we have our staff kind of divvied up with position groups, and so those guys are talking to their position group guys. Probably there's probably one big meeting a week that they have, I would say, and then individually, guys all throughout the staff are reaching out and just checking in with everybody, making sure they're doing okay. We usually have about I'd say one time a week we have a team kind of Zoom meeting where I kind of get with the guys and we talk about different things that are going on. The most challenging part of all this for everybody is just the uncertainty. And, I think, we have a lot more questions than answers right now with regard to most things. So to be honest, it's hard to give guys updates when we don't have a lot of information, new information, but just, reaching out, touching base, making sure they're finishing up well in school. We seem to be having another good semester, so really proud of our guys for the way they're doing their job in the classroom. And everybody seems to be okay from the tornado that went through town. Shout out to our academic advisor, Leslie Moreland Bishop. She unfortunately had a tree fall on her house, and she was the person that probably had to deal with the most in our basketball family. We've had a couple guys that are kind of around Clemson, but most of our guys are home, taking care of their families and themselves and handling their business that way. So, typical week for me is just, I usually have at least one or two Zoom meetings a day with staff, with players, maybe with athletic department. I'm doing something later this afternoon for a rising coaches group, young coaches in basketball, and I'm presenting a clinic for those guys for an hour. So there's always something along those lines going on. Trying to do a little bit of exercise when I can, get out and keep moving. And then there's a few things that I wake up with on a honey-do list that need to be done. So I'm not real handy, so I don't get a lot of things done here, but I'm good at manual labor. And so I do a lot of lifting and cleaning and that stuff. So, but it's been a good way for me and for our coaching staff, I think, to kind of reconnect with our families. This, as you know, would be another busy time for us. The challenging thing with coaching basketball is when our season ends, we're still heavily involved in recruiting. We usually have the Prowling Grouse circuit that we're involved with, so we do a lot of traveling. And the one positive out of this new way of life is just family dinners here at home with my daughters and getting a chance to reconnect more with those people in my life. So I cherish those times.
Well, and let me ask you that because, obviously you've got two daughters. Now your daughters are a little bit older, obviously one in college, one that's out. But, how do you go about as a dad, just trying to walk them through this time? Because, for somebody that's that young, it can be a little unsettling.
Yeah, it is. I think we're all understanding that this is the new normal for a while, and it has been now for a good bit. Kind of a cute story was early on, maybe a week into it. I was kind of checking on my daughters with doing their homework, and I kind of got put in a place. Hey, Dad, we've been away for a while. Like we've been handling our homework, all year without you. Now that we're back under your roof, we got it. You don't need to check on us every day. And my daughter found some Facebook article or something that talked about a warning to parents. Hey, now that the kids are back under your roof, if they're grown, you don't need to micromanage them. And so I got a quick lesson on not micromanaging my daughters. Maybe I do a little too much with our players occasionally too, but they're doing well, and we've enjoyed spending some quality family time.
All right. Well, that sounds good. I'd like to, if we can, just go back and kind of recap what was the season. Obviously, the last time we saw your team actually play on a basketball court, it was in a victory in the ACC tournament. You were getting ready to play Florida State when all of this came to a crashing halt, and I think you kind of have taken us through that. But even as I go back and think about that day, it was just a strange day all around and all around together. But as you go back and you reflect on this season, obviously the wins at home that happened, even prior to that with what happened now almost a year ago in Italy and winning the gold medal, as you put together the roster and stuff for that. You kind of walk us through, if you can, some of the highlights as you see it for the past year.
Yeah, it was a remarkable year in a lot of ways, Don. It really was. You got to think back to the end of the previous season where we lost 4 senior starters: Marquise Reed, Shelton Mitchell, Elijah Thomas, David Scarr, some really good players that helped us win. I think it was 45 games in their last 2 years, and part of a Sweet 16 group, and just a group that achieved a lot. And we really had major roster turnover, and we had a lot of uncertainty. Amir was our only returning starter. Really, Amir and Clyde were our only kind of guys that were returning that had played any kind of significant minutes. And so we really had, we had to go out and search for some new players. And we ended up bringing in 7 new guys, a couple of grad transfers, a couple of traditional transfers, and then 3 freshmen. And so really kind of building a new team was, what was most important at that time, and making sure guys understood how we do things, our culture, and just really remarkable in that we were able to assemble this group so quickly in the summer and spring of last year, and then go and compete and win a gold medal at this World University Games in Italy. Just a lifetime experience that I think we'll all remember and cherish deeply. Quite an honor. And then, just moving back into the season, obviously we had some injuries with Clyde and Jonathan Bear, and had to overcome some things, and Chase Hunter, and but really a fun, coachable group, guys that really worked hard, guys that were unselfish, wanted to improve, and then just some remarkable wins. Obviously, as much as any, I think we all remember the court storms that happened late in the year, but the win at Chapel Hill was obviously extremely significant. And, just to kind of get that past us as a program, and not have to be asked about that anymore. And to finish that game the way we did, and with the execution that our guys played with the last couple minutes of regulation and overtime, really proud. And you obviously could see the joy on everybody in our program's faces, and the celebrations that ensued after. So that was a lot of fun. And then I always just enjoy kind of reliving some of the games that happened during the year, especially the court storms, probably, to watch, our guys play so well, and then to see our students, just attack our players on the court, and to watch our guys have some fun with that. Just a lot of fun. So there were some serious highlights this year, remarkable wins that hopefully will give us a tremendous amount of momentum moving into next season.
Brad, one of the things I think that gets lost by us all is the number of wins that you all had when you were down double digits. I mean, go back to the TCU game all the way back in Las Vegas. You're down 15 points with around 7.5 minutes to go. You hold them scoreless. You get it to overtime, win that one in overtime. That North Carolina game, you're down, a 10 points with 2:07 or something like that to go. Figure out a way to get to overtime and win that one. You had games at home that were like that. You often talk about this thing called Clemson grit, and it's real, but it was at its forefront, I think, in several occasions this year.
Yeah, we really had a resilient group. Really proud of our guys for that. We just kept competing. I don't think we were as talented as some of the teams we played, certainly. But I thought our guys played very well together in certain instances, and I thought we improved a lot. I thought our team really got better. And I thought that the experience in Italy, where we won a bunch of close games and we had some similar situations where we were behind and came back, helped our guys kind of understand the importance of playing well together. And, again, we were a young group, kind of an inexperienced group that you really fed off of each other. And obviously we were a team that was different when we played at home and when we had tremendous support behind us. And that often happens when you have young players. They play much better at home. They play better when they've got crowd behind them, supporting them. But as you mentioned, we just, there were 5 times, I think, this year when we were down 10 points or more and we came back to win. And so I think that really speaks to the character of this team and the way these guys really cared about one another and kept competing. And so, yes, we talk about Clemson grit, and certainly it was on display at various times this year.
A couple of things personnel-wise. You mentioned Chase Hunter. You mentioned Jonathan Baer. So give us maybe a little bit of update of where those guys are, and obviously a different time for them because they're having maybe to do some stuff on their own. So how has that been going with those 2 guys?
Yeah, Chase Hunter, basically was diagnosed with a stress fracture late in the year. He had kind of had what we call a stress reaction, and we thought we could maybe sit him down for a couple of weeks at a time and maybe try to see if we could get him to play through it and get past it at some point, but it just never really completely got healthy. So we shut him down, and he's still shut down right now. I would say sometime here in May, maybe towards the end of May is when he'll begin to be able to do a few more things physically. And we're optimistic he'll be fine by sometime in the summer and be able to get some good work in and improve and have a really big sophomore season. Jonathan Baer, as most people know, came back off an ACL tear that happened in the spring, came back to compete in a couple games for us, and then unfortunately got hurt in a workout setting shortly thereafter and had to have a second ACL surgery. And, I think his timetable is sometime near November, depending on how things go. He is still getting treatment and rehab and progressing nicely. But, I think we have to be very cautious with him coming back after this second surgery and, certainly hope for him to be able to have the kind of impact that we know he can have. So those are the 2 guys that really are coming back off of the major injuries. I think Clyde, really gutted it out this year and probably was never 100% healthy all season and obviously had to play with a big brace on. And so I think this time off has probably been good for him, just to be able to kind of try to strengthen the knee or the muscles around the knee and just to kind of let the wear and tear of the second half of the season, which he dealt with, kind of just relax. He needs to get some confidence back. And I think a lot of that will happen if he's a little bit, more healthy.
People will know that Amir Sims put his name in for the NBA draft, to take a look at. Didn't sign with an agent, didn't do it. You've had several players that have done that, as a matter of fact, in years past. And actually, I like the way that you use this because it's a good way for them to hear from the NBA, find out what they need to work on in their games, and give them an opportunity. They're going to come back. Let's take care of things and get things going. For a great opportunity for them.
Yeah, it is. I think it's just like with most guys, everybody's looking for information. And the NBA has an advisory committee that they use to help give you about as much information as you can. Nobody really knows who's going to draft whom and where they're going to fit exactly, but you do get some positive feedback. And that's what you want, is you want to be able to use this as information for your players to make good decisions. And they've got to make decisions that they feel are in the best interest of them and their family. We certainly support our guys that do it. This year, very unique in that we don't know really what the normal spring is like in terms of, are they even going to have workouts for guys to go to? But you still did get, we still are gathering feedback for Amir on things that are, ideas of where he may be drafted if he went, things, strengths and weaknesses to his game, and obviously using those as information to help him, be more intentional in his improvement, I think is something that's really important. And, I think he's excited by that, hungry after a superb junior year, and highly motivated to continue to be the best player he can be.
As you look ahead to next season, you've got 2 young men that'll be coming into the program. And so that becomes a little uncertain of what you're going to do. One, obviously, the player of the year here inside the state. Another one that you're very high on. How are you dealing with the two prospects? And, obviously from that standpoint, we don't really know when they're going to show up on the Clemson campus.
Well, we're obviously really excited about both freshmen. PJ Hall from Dorman High School, player of the year in the state of South Carolina, highly ranked recruit that we've recruited for 2+ years, and comes from a state championship high school program. And then Olivier Prosper, Omax, is just a really talented Canadian young man who really has been serious about basketball for the last couple of years, moving away from his family and living 1 year his junior year in Chicago and his senior year in Mexico City, and just working to become a better player. And one of those guys that was kind of a little bit under the radar, and staff did a great job of kind of uncovering him and recruiting him well in a short amount of time. And so we're super excited about both those guys and the impact they're going to make at Clemson. I think they're both going to be outstanding players. But it is unique. It's different. Obviously, we would be planning to probably bring those guys in here, late May or early June if things were normal. Now we don't know if that's going to happen. We don't know when our guys would be able to come back, even our returning players. And so everything's kind of put on hold. It probably, hurts them a little bit in terms of just being able to assimilate as much as we would like as quickly. We really have not been able to do any kind of meetings with them. We just can, just kind of keep them informed, but there's no basketball coaching or anything of that nature that we can be doing with those guys until much later in the summer.
2020, 2021, is primed to be really exciting at Clemson.
Yeah, we obviously super excited about a lot of things. Number one, just getting everybody back and getting to spend time with our players again day to day, and hopefully getting past this, this time that we're all dealing with. But yeah, I'm excited about our team. I'm excited about our future. I think we've, continued to recruit at a higher level here the last couple of years. There's no question that the renovation to Little John has helped show that we're serious about basketball at Clemson, and that we want to win. And, we've played pretty consistent, middle of the pack, and obviously the Sweet 16 year we were in the upper, maybe top 3, I guess, where we finished in the league. And, obviously we're fighting to get back there. And I think that, this is the kind of team that has a chance to, do very well. The experiences that we had last year will hopefully continue to motivate our players to achieve at a high level. I think we have a lot of players that are still young and a little unproven that have to take big steps. But I think the next couple of years for Clemson basketball are set up to have a chance to be really good. And we're super excited about that and can't wait to get back working with our guys.
Hey, good to see you. Appreciate the time. All the best to you and the family. Make sure you take care, stay safe. And as I've been telling everybody when I've been doing these, next time I see you, it ain't a handshake, brother. It's going to be like a bear hug. You're getting a bear hug from me when I see you. So looking forward to that being that point in time, all right?
Sounds good, brother. You all be safe too.
All right, there's our Solid Orange Conversations dedicated to Prisma Health and all the brave healthcare professionals out there. For Brad Brownell, I'm Don Munson. Go Tigers.